Hey guys, I'm back. I know it's been a while. I'm on the verge of making a full recovery. Yeah, I was feeling very ill for numerous amounts of reasons. And yeah, just getting back into the habits and progression and everything that's good in life. Making my way toward the good life. I explained my 67-step review not too long ago. And now we're going to be proceeding back on from page 50, managing oneself. Pretty off track if you haven't already gotten sick and tired of waiting for this video to be released. Those of you who are following along, just figured screw it. I'll just jump ahead. Okay, fair enough. But yeah, so we finished off. I'm just trying to refresh my mind because it's been a bit of a while for me. Okay, alright, so I was talking about people which are already in established careers within organisations, and they've been there for so and so many years. They've already mastered their expertise and they're getting bored. They've lost their passion for their job. And they're talking about how these well-managed people, self-managed people, have established things along the side that can help them find happiness. Different ways for which they can contribute a good service to people for various means, non-profit organisations, clubs, or starting up their own business or organisation on the side that's profitable. They create a parallel job, usually in non-profit organisations that take another 10 hours of work per week. Just quoting an extract from the book exactly. They love their work, but it no longer challenges them. In many cases, they keep on doing what they have been doing all along, but spending less hours and less of their time upon it. But yeah, moving on from there, we're going to be starting off just part of the way down of page 50 from where we finished previously. Alright, so people who manage the second half of their lives may always be a minority. The majority may retire on the job and count the years until their actual retirement. But it is this minority, the men and women who see a long working life expectancy as an opportunity both for themselves and for the society, who will become leaders and models. And that's exactly what I want to become. And I expect that you want to become that too, which is why I'm watching this video. So there is one prerequisite for managing the second half of your life. You must begin long before you enter it. When it first became clear 30 years ago that working life expectancies were lengthening very fast, many observers, including myself, believed that retired people would increasingly become volunteers for non-profit institutions. That has not happened. It's that long break. Anyway, that has not happened. If one does not begin to volunteer before one is 40 or so, one will not volunteer once past 60. If you're wondering why I'm so bloody happy, by the way, it's because I actually pushed past that threshold, you know? Despite all the ongoing challenges that are going on in my life currently, outside stepping up to play, outside making some hard, back-breaking decisions, and I've got the willpower, despite being ill still and recovering. I went and worked out, went and made my new motivational video, went and done my 67-step review. Bang! I'm back on point, man. It's about that progression. It feels amazing. Forget being like the majority of the world. Let them, go to the bar and what have you, spend their money on intoxicants, creating those bloody illusions of life. No, this is reality. This is real. You want to talk about being real? This is real. Self-improvement. That's it, man. The investment is within yourself, and then, as Tyler Lopez says, you work upon yourself now. It will take a while, but the world will catch up afterwards. So, where the hell was I? increasingly become volunteers for non-profit institutions. That has not happened. If if one does not begin to volunteer before one is 40 or so, one will not volunteer once past 60, which is understandable. Similarly, all the social entrepreneurs I knew began to work in their chosen second enterprise, long before they reached peak in the original business. Consider the example of a successful lawyer, the legal counsel to a large corporation who has started a venture to establish model schools in his state. He began to do volunteer legal work for schools when he was around 35. He was elected to the school board at age 40. At age 50, when he had amassed a fortune, he started his own enterprise to build and run model schools. He is, however, still working nearly full-time as the lead counsel in the company he helped found as a young lawyer. There is another reason to develop a second major interest and develop it early. No one can expect to live very long without experiencing a serious setback in his or her working life. There is the competent engineer who is passed over for promotion at age 45. There is a competent college professor who realizes at age 42 that she will never get a professorship at a big university, even though she may be fully qualified for it. There are tragedies in one's family life, the backup of one's marriage, or the loss of a child. At such times, a second major interest, not just a hobby, may make all the difference. The engineer, for example, now knows he has not been very successful in his job, but in his outside activity, as church treasurer, for example, he is a success. One's family may break up, but in that outside activity there is still a community. In a society in which success has become so terribly important, having options will become increasingly vital. Historically, there was no such thing as success. The overwhelming majority of people did not expect anything but to stay. Excuse me? Oh! It's getting late. To stay in their proper station. As an old English prayer has it, the only mobility was downward mobility. In a knowledge society, however, we expect everyone to be a success. This is clearly an impossibility. For a great many people, there is at best an absence of failure. Wherever there is success, there has to be failure. And then it is vitally important for the individual, and equally for the individual's family, to have an area in which he or she can contribute, make a difference, and be somebody. That means finding a second area, whether in school, a career, a parallel career, or a social venture that offers an opportunity for being a leader, for being respected, for being a success. The challenges of managing oneself may seem obvious, if not elementary, and the answers may seem self-evident to the point of appearing naive. But managing oneself requires new and unprecedented things from the individual, especially from the knowledge worker. In effect, managing oneself demands that each knowledge worker think and behave like a chief executive officer. Further, the shift from manual workers who do as they are told to knowledge workers who have managed themselves profoundly challenges social structure. Every existing society, even the most individualistic one, take two things for granted, if only subconsciously: that organizations outlive workers, and that most people stay put. But today, the opposite is true. Knowledge workers outlive organizations, and they are mobile. They need to manage oneself is therefore creating a revolution in human affairs. And that's where it finishes. So this is going to be a short video, but just backtracking over what we've gone through so far. Let me just get my pencil out. Just like making it underline it. So people manage results. Actually, I think that's it. People who manage the second half of their lives may always be a minority. The majority may retire on a job and count the years until the actual retirement. That is brilliant. And, you know, as Simon says, we need to learn how to make the settlement between rich and poor, successful and the people who create impact, between the poor and the people who have no impact whatsoever and die within regret and unfulfillment. There is one prerequisite for managing the second half of your life. You must begin long before you enter it. When it first became clear 30 years ago, actually, I'll just stop there. So, if one does not begin to volunteer before one is 40 or so, one will not volunteer past 60. Gives an example. In a society in which success has become so terribly important, having options will become increasingly vital. That's another point on the line. That is brilliant. And yes, oh my god, I can relate this to people that I know, believe you me. The overwhelming majority of people did not expect anything but to stay in their proper station. As an old English prayer has it, the only mobility was downward mobility. You think about it. So many people think that they have job security. So many people are in their current positions thinking they'll stay there and sustain it. Oh, they may undergo a bit of training just so they can keep their current jobs, but within that position that you're hoping to maintain, the only mobility is downward. You're not going upward because you have no ambitions. You have no aspirations to move higher than where you're currently positioned at. So the only direction you're going in is down. That's the only way which you can move. So, you know, people frown upon working harder during your youth. People frown upon, you know, going the extra mile or being adventurous, experimentative. That's exactly what we need to be. You want to look for security. That's the best way to be secure, is by having options, as the book states. Incredible. That's it. Hey, I'm going to underline this as well. Wherever there is success, there has to be failure. And then it is vitally important for the individual, and equally for the individual's family, to have an area for which he or she can contribute, make a difference, and be somebody. That means finding a second area, whether in a second career, social venture that offers opportunity for being a leader, for being respected, for being a success. That is brilliant. And I can also relate that to Tai Lopez's 33% rule. 33% of your time is meant to be spent with people that are lower than you, so that you can encourage them, you can lead them, and that adds value to your own life. And also, upon my teaching course I went on at one point in my life, talks about one of the most powerful ways of retaining information is through teaching it yourself. So that's also helpful. The other 33% is meant to be spent upon people that are like-minded in the same position as you. The other 33% is meant to be spent with people that are above you, mentors, people that you can aspire towards, people in high positions of yourself. Challenge managing oneself may seem obvious if I elementary, and the answer may seem self-evident. Managing oneself regards a new and unprecedented things from the individual, especially. Oh God, it helps every existence. Yep, that's what I've got on the line. So that's it. We completely managed oneself. Peter F. Drucker. Finished on page 56, I believe. No, 55. Thank you very much for staying tuned in regards to that, and we will be covering next. Right, I dropped it. Richard Dawkins, The Selfish Gene. This is crazy. It's mind blowing. I already started on it, started reading it on my commutes from work, home, and what have you, so at least we've got a bit of a head start, so things should go smoothly for the first 10 pages or so. But it's a lot more dense, as you can see. A lot more dense than Managing Oneself. So I might even just cut down to 5 pages or so. But yeah, look forward to doing that. Thank you very much for tuning in. And I hope you follow on with the next book.